All right. So I wanted to talk about um, one very important lesson I had to learn on my health journey. That's what we are talking about today. That's the topic of today. Um, and I'm just going to go ahead and start talking about it, and you guys can chime in and comment and ask questions as we go. But I just wanted to talk about this one thing because I think it's very important when you are trying to create healthier habits and like you've had habits that you want to get rid of that you've had for a long time. I think it's really important to talk about this. So, what that is I really feel like it helped me to learn that consistency really is more important than perfection when you're working on making healthy habits stick. So, um, I don't know about you guys, but I used to be that all or nothing person. Let me know if you guys are like that too. I was that all or nothing person. If I didn't have an hour to work out, then I might as well not work out, right? I might as well not waste my time with it if I don't have a whole hour or a whole 30 minutes or whatever. Um, I might as well just not do it at all. Or if I ate a splurge meal one day, I might as well just splurge the rest of the day because I've already ruined it, right? Um, and I can remember so many times like being on some diet that I was trying at the moment, and like uh, you know, something would come up where I couldn't eat what I'd planned to eat, or, I needed a treat or something, and I just kind of didn't stick to my diet. And then that made me feel like, oh, well, I've already ruined it. So guess I'm off my diet. Like I just couldn't continue it. Um, that was my thinking, 10 years ago or so. And, and I really like the more I did that, I really like learned that that is not true. Like that, um, you know, even if I you know, mess up, or even if I don't do things perfectly, that doesn't mean that I have to quit. That doesn't mean that, um, 10-minute workout you know, isn't okay. Like if I have 10 minutes or 20 minutes, that's better than zero, right? That's better than not doing it at all. And that's just what I kind of had to learn on my health journey. Like I don't have to be perfect. Even if I have this plan that I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat this and I'm going to work out this much. Even if I go off of that and I don't do things exactly the way I had planned, that doesn't mean that I have to quit. That doesn't mean that I've failed at it. It just means that, life happens, and you just do the best you can, right? Like I think it's great to have a plan. It's very crucial to a health journey to have a plan, to kind of know what you're doing, right? Not just wing it. I talk about that all the time. But if life doesn't go as planned, if what you intend to do doesn't work out, that doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean that you can't stick to it, right? So that's what I mean by consistency. Um, Consistency is really better than perfection, right? It's better to do a 10-minute workout than to do nothing at all. Even though you may have intended to do a 30-minute workout. And we're going to talk about that more. So, so I've learned that consistency matters more than doing the habit perfectly, right? So I want to give you a good example of this. Normally, every morning I wake up at 5 a.m. and I have my quiet time. Then I get in about a 20 minutes of strength training before I have to wake up my kids for school. So that's kind of what I do. I wake up like an hour earlier than them, and I do my quiet time, and I do like a little weights workout. It's usually no more than 15 or 20 minutes. And then I go wake them up. Um, and then once they're at school, I'll go walk the dog for 15 or 20 minutes. And that's my routine. That's like all I do for a workout is usually a 30, 45-minute workout. I do the 15 or 20 minutes of weights. And then after I get the kids to school, I'll walk the dog for 15 or 20 minutes. And like the weekends are usually longer than that. I'll go on a longer walk than that. But that's what I do right now. For my movement, for my exercise. Um, but you know, Friday, I had a dentist appointment that morning, like late morning, and so I wasn't able to do my usual workout. I pretty much needed to wake up, get ready, get the kids ready, and then go. Because I live kind of far away, kind of far out, so I have to, drive a pretty good way to the dentist, and so that's what I did. I didn't do any of my like normal routine. And then since I was out in town, because I don't live, I live out in the country, I guess you would say, out in the suburbs. And so I was in town, and so I went and like did some Christmas shopping and things like that. So I went and picked up my daughter from school after that, and you know, I after that me and her and took the dog for a walk. So instead of me saying, "Well, I've already ruined the day. I didn't get to my routine. I don't have time to do my weights. I might as well not work out. I didn't get it done this morning, so I don't have time." Instead of doing that, I just I didn't do the weights that day, and I didn't stress about it. I just didn't do it that day. And me and my daughter, we took the dog on a walk later that afternoon, and it worked out fine. I got my movement in. And he got his walk, and everything was fine. But back before, when I used to think, I had to be perfect at everything, I may not have done anything because I'm like, oh, well, I already ruined the day and I'm tired and I don't want to do it. And, like walking the dog is better than zero, right? I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to do it perfectly, like I used to think, right? So I just wanted to share that story with you because I don't know how you guys think. Like, if you're an all or nothing kind of person, or if you are like, well, I wanted to do this, but it didn't work out, but I can still do a little bit, right? Um, and that's good enough, right? So I don't know what you guys are, but I just thought I would share that because that's really got what got me to thinking about, needing to talk about this. Like I don't ever want you guys to think that you have to be perfect, that you have to be perfect at your health journey. I definitely haven't been. And that's really where I learned the not being perfect, and learning from that was where I really grew, right? Where I really learned lessons, and I really um grew, and got better at my health and my health journey, and learn the best lessons. So don't think that you have to be perfect. Okay, I don't want you to think you have to be perfect. Just do the best you can, right? Because I know life gets in the way. It does for me too. um so anyway, so, I say if you have 10 minutes instead of 30 minutes, like I said earlier, that's good enough, right? Like, do a 10-minute workout instead of your normal 30. If you only have time to do 10 minutes every day, guess what? That is better than nothing. That is better than no exercise, no movement. So I want you to keep that in mind when you think, oh, 10 minutes isn't enough. It is. It is. Um, and and it's the same with your diet too. I want you I want you to know that like even if you can only cook one healthy meal a day, instead of 3. I want you to know that that's better than no healthy meals a day, right? That's still gonna get you progress. It may not be as quick as you want, but it's still gonna be progress towards your goal, right? If you can commit to 1 healthy meal a day, it doesn't have to be 3 healthy meals a day, you know? Cook, commit to 1 healthy meal a day, and that will get you um, closer to achieving your goals, right? So I just want to throw that out there as well with your diet. Um, and like if you have that all or nothing mindset around eating, not only is it unrealistic, but it's stressful to think that you have to be perfect, right? Like that used to really stress me out to think that I needed to be perfect when I was on my diets and stuff. And that I couldn't sway from that. Like that kind of thinking was super stressful because you don't always know what situations you're going to be in, right? And that's what something that stressed me out a lot. Like if I couldn't have control of what I was eating, that stressed me out. Um, so, I don't want you to have that all or nothing thinking, that all or nothing mindset, you know. Um, so instead, uh, you know, take it one day at a time or one meal at a time, like I talked about, commit to one meal a day. Or just commit if you do better, like commit to one day at a time. Like, I don't know how long I can eat healthy, but I'm going to eat healthy this one day because I know today I can control that. Whatever works better for you. Do what works best for you and your lifestyle and the time of life that you're in. Everybody's in a different time of life. Like if you're retired, you may have more control over what you're eating every day. If you're working, a job outside the home, you're not going to have as much control, right? You may not have as much control. If you have little kids that are picky eaters, you may not have as much control. But do the best you can at the time of life that you're in, right? And don't beat yourself up if you can't be perfect. So, um, so if you're wanting to eat healthier, and you can only cook one healthy meal a day, like I said, one healthy meal is better than no healthy meals, right? So you guys let me know if this is making sense, if I explain this good enough. All right, so instead of striving for perfection with your habits, I want you to start focusing on getting consistent with them. Like, that's the topic of today. Get consistent. Get consistent with your habits instead of focusing on trying to be perfect or do your plan perfectly, right? Um, Even if that means 10 minutes of activity instead of 30, or one healthy meal instead of being perfect all day. So, now I want to give you a few tips for how you can get better at getting consistent with your habits. I have a few tips that have really helped me and hopefully can help you as well, getting consistent with your habits instead of trying to be perfect. So the first one is to start small. Start small, and we've talked about this a little bit already. Starting smaller, setting smaller, more attainable goals will not only build your confidence, but it will help you reach your ultimate goal faster. So, if you don't currently exercise regularly, don't make your goal an hour a day, right? you will burn out faster. You're going to burn out with that if you go from no exercise to an hour of exercise. Your ultimate goal might be an hour of exercise a day, but you don't want to make that your short term goal, right? Um, Instead, you want to make your goal more realistic, right? What can you actually do every day with all the things that you have to do in a day? All the all the things you have planned and on your calendar and everything. What is realistic? Is an hour really realistic for you, or is 15 minutes realistic, right? Really think about that when you're making your short term goal. So if you're not an exerciser and you want to start exercising, start with 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that that is actually realistic. And then, decide when you're going to do that, right? Like actually plan, well, what time of the day is this realistic for me to do, right? Um so uh So do that, and then you're gonna have a much easier time, making exercise stick, um, like, if you start slow like that. So that is my first tip. And then my second tip is to schedule your new habit. Schedule when you're gonna do that habit, like I just said. Scheduling your habits makes you more likely to remember to do it, first of all, especially if it's a new habit. If you schedule the new habit, you're gonna be more likely to remember to do it. Um, and, uh, and you're gonna be more likely to actually do it, right? You're Because sometimes we intend to do things, but then if we don't have them on our schedule or we're not used to doing them, like it's not a routine yet, then we just forget. We honestly forget, right? And we're like, "Oh, I was gonna do that today, and it totally slipped my mind because it wasn't on my calendar, or I'm just not used to it. Not in a routine of doing it yet." So that's another thing that I always suggest is to schedule your new habit, right? Schedule when you're going to do it. So, scheduling a dedicated time decreases the chances that you'll get too busy, forget, or just procrastinate on it. How many of you do that? Procrastinate, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then the end of the day comes and you didn't do it. So, schedule your new habit. And then my third tip is to be flexible. So if something comes up and you can't get your normal routine in, don't stress about it, right? Getting stressed out or worried about a missed workout or an unplanned splurge meal is worse for your health than just letting it go. And that's what I had to do on Friday, right? Um, I had to just let it go that I was not going to get my full routine in, and I had to do the best that I could, right? So, so don't stress about if you can do, what you plan to do perfectly, because stress, that takes a toll on our health too. And if we're constantly stressing about being perfect at our health goals, then that's not going to help your health either. So don't stress about it. Um, so if you can squeeze in your habit in another time, like at another time of day, um, like I did on Friday, that's great. Do that. Put it somewhere else if you can. But if you can't, just let it go and try again the next day, right? That's going to be way less stressful. It's going to be way better for your health. And, you know, just don't strive for perfection. Just do the best you can, right? And my last tip, and one that I think a lot of people forget is to celebrate your progress. Celebrate the progress that you have made, right? So if you want to improve your consistency with your new habit, reward yourself occasionally. And don't do it with food. I don't ever recommend that, because then you don't want to start a new habit that you don't want, right? Be sure it's not food related, but um, you know, reward with, like, I reward myself with like a new workout top, or new workout like outfit or something like that. A massage, would be great. Like, if you've been lifting a lot of weights or doing a lot of exercise, you might want to go get a massage every now and then, like every few months or so, or however much you can do it. Or a bubble bath, get some Epsom salt in there. That'll really help relax your muscles. It's great for, you know, uh, getting your magnesium and eliminating toxins and things like that. So reward yourself with something you really enjoy occasionally. And that's really going to help you stay consistent with your goals when you reward yourself. Um, so, do it every now and then when you've realized, oh, wow, I've made progress with my goal. Let me go treat myself with something, with a massage, with a new workout top, or something like that. Um, so consistency is really about trying to do something that's related to your goal every day or most days. That's what consistency means. Not being perfect at it, not doing everything just how you wanted it to go or planned it to go, but just doing something related to your goal every day or most days, right? Um, and it doesn't have to look the same or be the same amount of time every day. It doesn't. It can be, um, it can be just a few minutes or just one meal, like I said. And if one day you have 10 minutes and another day you have an hour, you're still being consistent, right? You're still making progress. And that's what matters more. That's what matters more. And that right there, just being consistent on, you know, uh, trying to do it most days is going to create the habit, create the new habit. It's going to get you in a routine. So it does become a habit. Does that make sense, you guys? Um, so work on that. And deciding to be consistent rather than striving for perfection will bring you closer to reaching your goals, because you aren't letting your fear of meeting unrealistically high standards get in the way of your progress. Okay? So just remember that. All right. So I hope this helps you with your goals. And if you are looking for more support with your goals and building healthy habits in a realistic way, just put the word habits in the comments in the chat, and I'll give you some more personalized help. We can talk about like what specifically is going on for you, and I can give you some more personalized advice. All right. I appreciate you tuning in today, and I'll see you next Tuesday with a new live. All right. Bye, guys.